What's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a tool roll, essentially. This is called the Pack Mule, and this is from RoaringFire. I've done some videos on some RoaringFire bags before. I really like their packs, specifically for knife storage, and even more specifically for me, for multi-tool storage. That's what I'm currently using my other bags for. I've seen other YouTubers do videos on these. That's how I first got introduced to them. But they had actually reached out and seen if I wanted to try this bag out, because this is one of their newest bags and the biggest bag that they offer. So I said, all right, cool. So I'm just using it for testing, and I want to give you guys my opinions on it. I've been using this bag for my miscellaneous tools for probably 3 weeks now. And I just did a project yesterday which involved taking the bag out, actually taking one of the packs out for wrenches, because I'm currently working on kind of fixing up my Chrysler 200 to sell it. It's still been sitting in the driveway, and I want to take some parts off and repaint them. So I needed some wrenches, and the tool bag came in handy. Now this bag is the same quality as all their other bags. It just has a different layout. So you can see there's a shoulder strap on here. There's a carry handle. I have this thing like literally almost bursting at the seams because I have it packed with everything I used to have in a toolbox. I had a Craftsman yellow and black like plastic toolbox. All right, and it was probably, I don't know, like 2.5 feet long, maybe 12 inches high, something like that. Had the little tray in it, and I had a ton of stuff in there, and that was all my miscellaneous tools that I'm constantly using. I live in a small house. If you've watched the videos for a long time, you've known that. And I have a storage issue. I have a hard time putting things places because I don't have much storage in my house. So I have like basically a couple bins of tools. And this one Craftsman plastic toolbox I have has broken latches on it. It's always been a huge pain to use. So this bag served the purpose of replacing that. All right, but you can see here, compared to the size of my hand, all right, this thing is completely packed out. So we have little, snaps here. I'm just gonna unsnap it. And of course you can adjust that. Because the thing is so packed full of stuff, I would clip it down and then cinch it so it's nice and tight. All right, so you see how it just basically unrolls, and there's two sides here. All right? So this is basically a big old panel that's just keeping everything from moving. All right, the zippers here. So you unzipper this and then flop it open. All right, you can see obviously all the different tools. So this side has elastic bands. I have miscellaneous things in here, like some punches and marker and pencil and all kinds of things. And these have like little slots on the bottom, obviously, to house it. So you don't necessarily have to use the straps. Like I have a hammer in here. I have the mallet using the strap, but I'm not utilizing the strap for the hammer because it's obviously too thick. One criticism on this is that these straps, and it's not a huge deal at all, but the straps don't line up perfectly with the pockets. Like you see here, here's a pocket, and you can see the rubber mallet here. It's going through the strap, which I wanted for stability, so it's not flopping around because it has a big head on it. But it doesn't line up perfectly with this. Now, obviously, I have pocket stuff with multiple tools in some cases here, but it would just be nice if like the elastic that was on top here correlated perfectly with the pocket. But it doesn't. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, looks like 11 individual spots there, how it's sewn. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pockets. All right, so there's more straps than pockets. It's not a huge deal. You can see, obviously, I'm not utilizing every single tool through a strap and a pocket, but it's something I wanted to kind of mention there because some of the tools I originally wanted to be straight through, and it just didn't work out that way. All right, so I thought it was worth mentioning. So on the side here, we have just a big old pocket for whatever you want. And I have, again, miscellaneous things in here. I actually have an old knife I want to show you guys. I have an old Schrade. This was originally my garden knife. This is an old school Schrade. This is an 1140 OT. This has a rubberized handle, like super floppy rubber. Very, very comfortable in the hand. Has a little palm swell in there as well. But yeah, I used this for years in my garden, doing gardening stuff, just kind of beating it around and care if I hit rocks, dirt, whatever, and just come in and every now and again just sharpen it up again. But yeah, I thought that was worth showing. I don't know if you guys ever saw this model before. Pretty cheap sheath here, but I never actually carried it. I just used it to store the knife. There's an old school blade. But yeah, I have all kinds of stuff in here. Little baggies. These things are great to have for doing projects. All right, you can get these at like pharmacies. They sell these as like pill bags. Completely not related to the video, but I just wanted to mention it. But these things really come in handy because you're taking things apart and you have a bunch of screws. You put the screws right in the bag so you don't lose them. Screws, bolts, pins, whatever you need. Keep little baggies with your tools. Good little thing to have. Some torch bits, all kinds of torch bits. All kinds of things in here. I gotta go over every single tool. It's not the point. The point is that I had a bunch of tools that were floating around in this broken toolbox, and the roll is just much easier to use. That's it. It's that simple. Now the other side is what I like the most. Let me zipper this up. The other side has individual pockets in them. Okay, pocket, well, I guess you'd say removable pockets. All right, so flip this guy over. All right. Same thing, big old zippered pocket, double zippers. Pull the flap back. All right, you can see that we have 4 individual pouches here. All right, and these have, you know, again, just specific things for me. I have all my metric wrenches, and then I have all my standard wrenches in here, at least most of them. Something else I have to randomly mention is next time, I have actually a list of stuff when I go to the store, things that, so I don't forget to buy. I have to buy a couple extra 10mm wrenches. 10mm wrenches, sockets. I don't know why, 10mm is the one that is always needed for the projects, and it always goes missing for some reason. And then I have, again, just miscellaneous tools in both these bags, some random sandpaper, some snips, a little tiny saw, all kinds of things in here. This one, I have a lot of the box cutters, miscellaneous screwdrivers, extra screwdrivers, things like that. But what's kind of cool about these is that these all come out. These are all Velcroed in. All right, so in the case of the wrenches, I needed the metric set of wrenches. The whole thing pops out. All right, so I basically just took this outside, grabbed the wrenches that I needed, all right, and I'm good to go. Whereas I don't have to take the entire tool bag, because this tool bag is quite heavy. You know, it's nice, the shoulder strap does work very well, the handle is like extra padded, it is comfortable to carry and use, but it's not necessary to always bring all your tools, all right. So having the Velcro bottoms here on these bags are actually pretty helpful. All right, so make sure you kind of throw that centered. Everything fits back in nice. So it is actually pretty convenient. I love the bag. They're charging, right now it's on pre-order, so people are pre-ordering these for a cheaper price. I think the original price could be like $75, which is pretty steep. The pre-order price is cheaper at, I think, $65. You know, $65 for this bag. It's a very high quality bag. Again, I love all the RoaringFire stuff. I've been using them for probably a year and a half, 2 years now, the smaller bags. Smaller pouches, and I mean the quality is definitely there. It's just, you know, it's up to you whether that's something you would want to purchase for that price. I mean, for $65 you could get a plastic toolbox. I could replace my plastic toolbox bag. I could probably get 2 of them. Overall, I really do like the bag. The quality is definitely there. The only critique again was those straps. I would have liked to see a strap above each pocket specifically, so if you have a longer tool it can be housed inside the pocket on the other side and then through that strap. But it's not a big deal. I mean, I would say most people would probably just have the tools set up. I've seen a couple different setups for this particular pouch so far, and a lot of them use smaller tools and not even utilizing those elastic straps on top for that tool. It's basically like, here's a bunch of storage there, and then separate storage here for smaller items. But, you know, as you can see, I had a variety of stuff. So I had longer things like the hammer and the mallet, and I kind of wanted to utilize both, but it didn't happen to work out that way, but it's not a huge deal. But that is my only real critique on the bag. And as far as price, I mean, of course we want everything to be cheaper. $65, I mean, for the average person, it's probably too steep. If you have a profession that you use tools day in and day out, I think this thing would really, really last the test of time. That's where you would spend that money. You know what I'm saying? Electrician, carpenter, general contractor, flooring person. I mean, you name it. If you're using these tools all the time and you need some kind of a storage method that's going to be easy to transport around, then this is it. This is awesome. One thing I would love to have seen is, because this, I mean, obviously it's a tool roll, so you roll it up. Now I have this thing so packed that my rolls, it's pretty fat. It's as big as it's gonna get. Obviously you put less stuff in here, it's gonna be a tighter roll. But because this has a nice big rectangular profile, it would have been cool to also see backpack straps on this. Now I don't know if that's overkill, but 2 heavy duty backpack straps just like this, it would be a nice option, you know, to carry that, you know, obviously hands-free and maybe center all that weight. Because I have this, I mean, I don't know what this thing weighs, probably 30 pounds maybe. It's full of metal, you know what I mean? So it's quite heavy. And I just carried this back and forth just to kind of test it out, you know, in the driveway. And it wasn't a big deal. I suppose if you're on a job site, you wouldn't be carrying around all day, but you can certainly get it from your truck or your vehicle, you know, down to where you need it with no problem. How I have it packed out, it is a little heavy with just the handhold here. But with the shoulder strap, it was totally fine. Kind of carried a crossbody, and it wasn't a big deal because as I was carrying it, I was also supporting some of the weight with that strap. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. But just like everything in this life we live, prices are very subjective. To one person, it's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you spend $65 on this bag? To someone else, I'd say, yeah, that's great. I'd use that every single day. I'd pay $100 for it. I'd pay $200 for it. You know, everyone has a different opinion on things, but I'm not here to tell you whether the price is good or not. I'm here to tell you whether it works or not, and it definitely works. It's heavy, heavy duty canvas. All the stitching is really well done. You know, I don't feel like these are gonna fall apart anytime soon. Again, day in and day out usage for someone would be very important, especially if you're using it for work. But you know, I've liked them. You know, I can only really attest long term to those smaller pouches, but I do take those out in and out constantly. I have all my Leathermans and my Tornox and stuff in there. And you know, they obviously have a different setup and they're a little bit smaller, but they're built pretty much the same. And I've been happy with those. So anyway, thought this was pretty cool. Thank you to RoaringFire for sending this out. No, they're not paying me to make these videos. There's always an assumption on YouTube that everyone's bought and spoken for, and it's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? Getting different things to try out and test and maybe get things on loan. It's a cool way to get more content, to try different things you don't normally would have been able to try. I've already liked the brand. I've already used their products before. So they reached out and I thought, yeah, we'll try it out. But like I said, not getting paid for it or anything. But I do love sharing some information. And I know there's a lot of people who watch. I get all kinds of messages from professionals, you know, again, contractors, electricians, plumbers, things like that. And constantly talking about gear. I mean, a lot of you guys out there that are using your knives and flashlights and stuff, you're using it for your profession. So that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.